Assalamualaikum students. Today we will be solving paper 2 problem solving and program skills of computer science 9618 variant 22 May June 2023. This is AS level. Let's start. A program calculates the postal code based on the weight of the item and its destination. Calculations occurs the program. Okay. So you should read this question. Now, for example, the postal cost of $3.75 is used in the following lines of pseudocode. This is the pseudocode given to you. Identify a more appropriate way of representing the postal codes costs. What you could do here is you could use constants, use of constants, use of constants. All right. Describe the advantages of your answer. So if whatever answer you have written here, you have to describe the advantages with the reference to this program. Your answer should be referring to this code. So the answers I'm gonna write, I suggest that postal rates are entered only once. Secondly, I could say it avoids the input error. And thirdly, I could say it makes the program easier to understand. Makes the program easier to understand. All right, students. Now, lines of pseudocode contain features that make them easier to understand. State three of these features. Three features which make the pseudocode easier to understand. These are the basic features of pseudocode. So they include capitalized keywords, capitalized keywords, okay, indentation, indentation. I hope you all know what indentation is. Comments, comments, yeah, they make pseudocode easier to understand. For example, in this line, the code is written and a comment is written, which is explaining what the code actually means. So this is the meaning of this line of this code, that it sets the postal code for item 2 3. Now here it is setting. So the comments make the code easier to understand. Give the appropriate data types for the following variables. You have three variables and you have to give appropriate, which would suit them. So for the valid address, I could say, yeah, Boolean. Yes or no, true or false. Item postal code. Postal item code could be a real number. Item status, string. Now, question number 2 says a program stores a user's date of birth, using a variable my date of birth of type date. The type is date. Write a pseudocode statement using the function from the insert. You will be given an insert in the exam. Insert is basically a paper. It's a worksheet type thing. You will have 3 to 4 pages which will talk to you about all the functions and all things which you will use in the pseudocode. For example, if you have something known as mod, what is the meaning of mod? You have something known as boolean, real number. It will explain. Everything is given in the insert. So the insert will be given to you along with the paper when you're answering. So using the function from the insert, all the functions are given in the insert. So using a function from the insert to assign the value corresponding to 17.1, what do you think would be the pseudocode statement? It's really easy. You could say my date of birth as given in the question, and you have to assign the value. So this is how we're assigning. Set date to 17 11 2007. 11 is November and the year is 2007. Set date I found from the insert. My date of birth has been assigned a valid value representing the user's date of birth. Write a pseudocode statement to calculate the number of months from the month of the user's birth, from the month until the end of the year, and to assign this variable to the number of months. For example, my if my DOB contains a value, the value 5 would be assigned to num months. All right. So you need to assign num months. So simple. Num months assign 12 the month my DOB. Okay. The program will output the day of the week corresponding to my date of birth. For example, given the date, this is the date given, the program will output this word, that's Thursday. You need an algorithm, an array will be used. Okay, they have given to you in the question, an array will be used to store the names of the days of the week. Define the array and describe the algorithm in 4 steps. So in 4 steps, you have to do this. First thing, array definition. Array definition is what type, define the array. Let's say a 1D array, one dimensional array containing how many elements? 7 elements. Why did I say 7? How many days are there in the week? 7 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sorry, I already counted Sunday. 3, 6, 7 days in a week. Okay, contains 7 elements. Okay, of the type string. Because here it is given in string. That's why I mentioned string. The first step. The first step is pretty easy. In the first step, you have to assign the value Sunday to the first element. Assign the value Sunday to the first element. How is that possible? Assign and then value to the Sunday. Value in the string, you have to write Sunday. There are elements, 7 elements. So first value will be assigned to the first element, Monday to the second. Okay. Step number 2. Step 2 says use the function. Use the function day index To return, you have to use the function day index to return. Third step, you have to use the returned value, which is returned. Use the returned value as the array index. Step 4, output the element. Okay, step 4, you have to output the element or the name of the string. So in 4 steps, we have done this. Okay, question number 3. A program stores data in a text file. This is a text file question. When data is in a text file, abstract data type, ADT implementation of, this is a queue question of the queue. So you have 3 things: front of queue pointer, end of queue pointer, and the queue is circular. Circular means the queue will, this is like this. The queue will go in a circular manner. This is the circular manner. So they can be reused. The front pointer points to the next data item to be removed. This item will be removed. End of queue, last item added. So this is the last item added. This is the first item which was added already. So after pick, if let's say if there is yellow and if there is green, then green will come here. Okay? Because it's in a circular manner. Describe how the data items orange and yellow are added to the queue shown in the diagram. So you have to add orange and yellow. So your end of queue pointer will be this. You have to describe. First thing you have to say is you have to check that the queue is not full. Secondly, end of queue will move. End of queue will move. End of queue will come here basically. Because the next item is orange. So after orange, basically I have to explain here. So end of queue pointer will move to location number 9. It will move to location 9. Data item orange will be stored. All right. After that, the end of queue, after that end of queue pointer will move to location 0. It will move to location 0. Why? Because data item yellow will be added. See, orange and then yellow will come here. Why? Because this is a circular queue. Okay, so your end of queue will now be this. All right, after yellow being added. So I wrote yellow here, which was wrong, because I had to explain this. This is a circular queue. So after orange, the number will be yellow. Okay, this is your end of queue. The following diagram shows the state of the queue after several operations have been. All queue locations have been used at least once. State the number of data items in the queue. How many data items are there? 7 items. Starts here 1, 2. It starts from here. This is the first item which was added. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 because this is the last item. So 7 items. Okay. 7 items. The design of the queue is completed and the number of locations is increased. A function which is named add to queue has been written. It takes a string as a parameter and adds this to the queue. The function will return true if the string was added successfully. A procedure which is named file to queue will add each line from the file to the queue. This procedure will end when all the lines have been added or when the queue is full. Describe the algorithm for the procedure file queue. Do not use pseudocode in your answer. So structured English. In structured English, you have to explain. First, you will say that you will open the file in read mode. You will open the file in read mode. Then you will loop it till end of file. Loop it till end of file. The loop will end. Loop will end when the return value from add to queue is false and you will read a line from the file. So here also you have to give an indentation. After the return value from all add to the queue is false, it will read a line from the file. It will read a line from the file in a loop. And it will pass the string to add. Add to queue. Okay. So 5 points for 5 marks. A function which is named getNum, what it is going to do is it's going to take 2 parameters, a string and a character. It will count the number of times that the character occurs in the string and it will return the count. It will return the count. Any comparison between characters needs to be case sensitive. It has already been mentioned. Anything which has characters needs to be case sensitive. Okay, so write a pseudocode. Here in this question, you have to write a pseudocode. So we have to write a function, yeah. It says here function get num. Function get num. So let's begin. Function get num. This string string this char this char. Okay, char, and then it returns the string, returns the integer, returns the integer. Then you will declare the index. Declare index count, which is an integer. Count is equals to 0. For index, you're going to use a for loop for index 1 to length. This is the name of the variable length. This string parameter. If is a conditional statement, so condition for if the mid parameter, this string, which is of index 1, is equal to this char, then count is equals to count plus 1. Count will increment, which means it will increase. And then you will end if, end everything, next index, end the for loop. Return the count, end function. The for loop, if, and for the function. All right, this is how it will go. Question number 5 is asking you that a programmer has produced the following pseudocode to output the square root of the numbers from 1 to 10. Line numbers here are only for reference. Okay. So the pseudocode is correctly converted into program code. Function sqrt is a library function and it contains no errors. It contains no errors. The program code compiles without errors, but the program gives unexpected results. These are caused by a design error. Explain why the programmer gives unexpected results. All right. Why do you think the program gives unexpected results? First, look at the code. Read the code. Declare num is real. Num is assigned 1.0. Repeat it. Call display sqr. Num equals to num plus 1.0 until the num is greater than 10. Procedure display sqrt by reference. This number is real. Output this number. and returns the square root. All right. So the unexpected results could be that the parameter num has been passed by reference. Has been passed by reference. The second thing would be this num is modified. If you could see here, this num is modified. And the new value, will be used in the loop. From lines 43, from lines 40 till 43, the loop will go on. Why the compiler does not identify these errors? Because the rules of the language have not been broken. Or you could say there are no syntax errors. Make it simple. Okay, there are no syntax errors. Describe how a typical IDE integrated development environment could be used to identify this error. Okay, so 3 points, three features you could say. One is you could set a breakpoint. To stop the program. At a certain line. And step through the program line by line. Checking the value of num. The pseudocode is converted into program code as part of a larger program. During compilation, a complex statement generates an error. The programmer does not want to delete the complex statement but wants to change the statement, so that is ignored by the compiler. How this may be achieved? Change the statement into the command. Simple. Into a command or a comment. Both are eligible. Okay. A computer system for a shop stores information about each customer. The items of information include name and address, both postal and email together with payment details. All right. and order history. The system also stores the product categories they are interested in and how they would like it to be contacted. Okay, the shop wants to add a program module that will generate emails to be sent. It will generate emails to be sent to customers receiving details of new products. So state three items of information the new module will need. Customer name, first thing. And justification to personalize that email. Email address. So that the email can be delivered. To the right person. Contact preference or order history, since we're talking about the order here. Justification is to send the details of the product similar to that already brought. To send the details of the product similar to that already brought. Already bought. Okay. So three details given to you. Done. Identify two items of customer information that would not be required. That would not be required. What do you think is not required? The payment details is not required. How they are paying. Payment details, unnecessary information. Nothing being sold at this stage. Our order history. Let's say postal address. Because since we're sending email, why do we need the postal address? Okay. The program includes a module to validate a personal identification number, which is the known as PIN. This is used when customers pays for goods using a bank card. A state transaction has been produced. The table shows input, outputs, and state for this program. Complete the state transition to represent this information given. Okay, so your S1 is start. Now it is inputting the pin. So if it is inputting the pin, the next state here is S2. S1, the next state is S2. So it is inputting the pin, but there is no output. So S2. Now on S2 you have one is re-input the pin and re-prompt, which is display. Okay. There is no output here. So S2. So again S2 valid pin. If it's valid, it will go to S4 and then all okay. So one S2 will come here. This is S4. One will come here, which is S3. This is S3 is too many tries and block account. So I will write that here. Too many tries is your input and block account is your output. And here you could say valid pin and enable payment. Okay. Are we missing something? Yes, we are. We need to write the output for this. S2, it is re-input pin, will go again to S2. So this line, re-input pin display error. Make sure to label it, otherwise your marks will be deducted. Display error. This is how your state transition should look like after you have finished drawing it. If there is no output, you leave it empty.